it's Usernamekate and welcome back to my channel. Today I am at Silverstone with Ducati UK and I am going out on two very gorgeous bikes. Now in this video we're going to be seeing how the Panigale V2 compares to the Panigale V4S as a track weapon. So if you're interested to hear what I think as normal Joe Public, then keep watching and I'll roll the intro. First off, let's take a look at the Panigale V2. So this bike houses a 955cc Super Quattro Euro 5 twin cylinder engine. It has 155 brake horsepower at 10,750 RPM and 104 Newton meters of torque at 9,000 RPM. The V2 is currently the only Panigale twin in the range and is available in the colours Ducati Red and Black on Black. If we take a look at the suspension, on the front we have 43mm Showa fully adjustable upside down big piston forks, and for the rear suspension we have a fully adjustable Sachs unit. Moving on to the brakes, at the front we have two 320mm semi-floating discs with radially mounted Brembo monoblock M40.32 4-pot calipers. Moving over to the rear we have a 245mm disc with a 2-pot caliper. At the front of the bike we have a modest 4.3-inch colour TFT, a 17-litre tank, and the bike comes with the newest iteration of Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsas. The bike has a seat height of 840mm and a wet weight of 200 kilograms. Standard equipment on this bike includes the Ducati Quick Shift up and down Evo system with a wet clutch. We have daytime riding lights which are all LED, a Sachs steering damper and self-cancelling indicators. Safety equipment on the Panigale V2 include riding modes, power modes, Bosch cornering ABS Evo, Ducati Traction Control Evo 2, Ducati Wheelie Control Evo, engine brake control, and auto tyre calibration. Optional extras include Ducati's data analyzer with GPS module, Ducati multimedia system, Ducati lap timer GPS, and an alarm. Right, let's get to riding it. The first half of the day is over. I have spent the first half of the day solely riding the Panigale V2. So the Panigale V2 is Ducati's entry-level Panigale, if you can call it an entry-level Panigale. I mean, there's nothing really anything about it that is entry-level, but when you have the likes of the V4S and the V4, I feel like this is kind of the perfect sport bike to graduate from if you're, say, a pretty quick 600 rider on track and you're looking for something with a little bit more poke. So we have 155 brake horsepower on the V2, and in race mode, which is how I've been riding it today, it is excellent on track. It's really, really fun. It's just a sublime bike. Now for me, where this bike comes into its own is the corner speed. You can really just throw it in and just keep your speed. The chassis is tight, it's nice, it works great with the engine, and to be quite honest, it is actually a hoot. It sounds amazing round about 7,000 RPM. You whack it on and it just roars, and it is quite addicting. It's quite a nice sound. Now guys, I never profess to be fast on track. I am merely an intermediate rider, and I'm not Pecco, so I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what I think the suspension's doing on a quantum level, or however it is. Same with the brakes, but what I would say from somebody of my experience, normal Joe Public levels of ability, to jump on this bike and take it around Silverstone, it is awesome. You go down the box with the blipper, and the slipper clutch just helps it, and it does feel quite aggressive, but never in a way that's unnerving or anything like that when you are dropping down. It's light, it's easy to push into bends and just keep it pinned. It's really enjoyable. I actually can't complain so far. Brakes, great, certainly for my ability. So yeah, so far, completely competent, capable bike, awesome brakes, great suspension. I mean, I haven't really been pushing it to the levels where, you know, I can feel any flaws in it, because I'm just not that good enough. But for my pace and what I want to do with the bike and how I want to ride it, it's not throwing any shapes. It's always hard to talk about the first bike just because you don't have anything fresh in your mind to compare it to. So it'll be nice to take the V4S out and then speak about that in its own right, and then wrap it all together with a nice old conclusion and summary.
Right, moving over to the Panigale V4S. So in this bike we have an 1103cc 90-degree V4 Desmo Sedici Stradale engine. It produces 215.5 brake horsepower at 13,000 RPM and 123.6 Newton meters of torque at 9,500 RPM. From 6,000 revs, it provides 80% of the maximum torque available, and its colour options are available in Ducati red with black accents. If we take a look at the suspension on this bike, we have Öhlins NPX 25/30 43mm fully adjustable upside down forks with TIN treatment, electronically adjustable compression and rebound damping with Öhlins Smart EC 2.0 event-based mode. At the rear we have an Öhlins TTX 36 unit, electronically adjustable compression and rebound damping with Öhlins Smart EC 2.0 event-based mode again. If we take a look at the brakes on the front, we have two 330mm semi-floating discs with a radially mounted Brembo Stylema M4.30 4-piston caliper, and on the rear we have a 245mm disc with a 2-pot caliper. The TFT colour dash is slightly bigger on the V4S at 5 inches. We have a 17-litre tank and Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SPs as standard. More standard equipment on this bike includes a 6-axis IMU, Ducati quick shift up and down Evo 2 system with a wet clutch, LED DRL lights, an Öhlins steering damper, Ducati power launch, which is launch control, quick adjustment buttons, a lithium ion battery, Marchesini aluminium forged wheels, self-cancelling indicators and a chain guard. If we have a look at the safety equipment, we have power modes. The bike also has a Bosch cornering ABS Evo, Ducati traction control Evo 3, Ducati wheelie control Evo, Ducati wheelie slide control, engine brake control, and auto tyre calibration. Again, optional extras, much like the V2, we have the data analyzer with the GPS module, Ducati multimedia system, a lap timer GPS, and alarm.
Emotional damage.
Guys, I've just come in from riding the Panigale V4S and it is exactly as I remembered it. It is just divine. There's
an abundance of power that I'll never need in a million years. There is incredible technology in that suspension which I'll probably never utilise to its full capacity. The brakes are insane. I was following Chris from 44 Teeth and he was in front of me, and on the back straight we really, you know, we were going in fast. And he put his brakes on to the point where the Multistrada in front had flashing brake lights, which is like, oh, they're really on. And then I put the brakes on and it was a bit like, wow, but the bike handled it fantastically. It's really tall, but for some reason I kind of feel more comfortable on this bike. Yeah, for some strange reason I kind of felt more comfortable on this bike. I don't know whether it's the seat or whether it's we've got more grippage here, because on the V2 there isn't much, and I felt very slidey with my legs even though I was trying to grip it. So I felt like I could grip this more. Again, it might just be down to the pads, but the V2 had it. It's just got a different shaped tank, so it can't accommodate this little bit here. And I definitely noticed that under heavy braking. Yeah, the acceleration is absolutely mind-blowing, it's eye-watering, it's warp speed, but it's the ruckus, the noise that comes with opening that throttle and the satisfaction of the smoothness of the throttle. Being the V4, honestly, it's ridiculously smooth to ride, even in race mode. Don't get me wrong, I can imagine if you're absolutely winding that throttle on and it is getting bent out of shape, you might have something else to say, but for me, it was smooth, it was progressive, and it roars as well whilst it's doing it, which is never a bad thing. But just the feeling of the V4 underneath me, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, that's all I can say. What can I say? Panigale V4S. Chef's kiss. So guys, I am back in from a fantastic day at Silverstone with Ducati UK. I'm so lucky to be able to get to ride these incredible machines. Now, I'm not naive and I'm not daft, and I know that I personally cannot ride these bikes anywhere near their capability, and it's not something that I'm trying to claim, but I'm just hoping that I can represent a normal Joe blog, a normal average rider, and this is simply that perspective. So let's start. To summarise, the V2, awesome machine. Can definitely tell it's a V-twin. It has the V-twin characteristics, which, you know, I kind of like on road, but on track I prefer something, you know, a little bit more, well, I want to say less lumpy in the most polite terms. It's not a super lumpy bike, obviously, but it is a V-twin. So sometimes when you're shutting off and you're doing like tight hairpins and you're trying to gradually introduce that throttle, for me and my experience level, sometimes I can find it a little bit like, but when you actually do gradually wind it on from that hairpin, it makes the most tremendous roar. It's really nice to be sat on it and just driving it out. The brakes on this are fantastic for my abilities, given how I accelerate and then brake. Obviously, I'm not a fast group rider, but they are adequate, perfectly adequate for me. The Showa suspension on this, again, for my riding abilities, it handled everything perfectly. It didn't get bent out of shape. I didn't have any issues. Again, I can't speak from somebody who is absolutely spanking it. Like, maybe you'd have to ask Baron von Grumble his opinion if you want a real more in-depth view and if you're a bit of a faster rider. But it is such a pleasure to ride. It feels skinny, it feels chuckable. Corner speed, exit speed on this, awesome, the pickup's great. For me as well, being a short ass at 5'4" with a 29-inch inseam, this has a seat height of 840, this has a seat height of 850. Now on a track it's not so much of an issue, but I actually can't reach the side stand on the V4S, whereas I can on the V2. So if you're short and you get one of these as a track bike, you might need somebody just to help you out. So yeah, awesome bike, I absolutely adored it. Now I went first on this one today purposefully. One, because it's the lesser power bike, 155 brake horsepower. We've got the super quadro engine in there. But also, given my past experience of this, I knew I kind of wanted to end on a bang, not literally, thankfully. So there's lots of journalists and they say, the V2 is the one to go for on track. It's amazing, it's agile, it's nimble, it's sprightly, it's the one to have. And 155 brake horsepower is mad amounts of brake horsepower for anybody on track. It's great. This though, oh, this pulls at my heartstrings. It's leery, it's frightening, it's ferocious. It sounds like hell in between your legs. And I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Can I ride it to its ability? No. Do I do it justice? Absolutely not. But do I care? No. If I had unlimited funds, now it'd be a different story, I would think, if it was going to be a road bike as well as a track bike, because I feel like this would probably be more suited to real world British roads, and this one would probably be a bit too much of a handful, if I'm being totally honest with you, especially in that aggressive sports bike riding position with your wrist down and your arse in the air. So I feel like if I was to, having said that, no, I can't comment, because if I was to have a bike that I would ride on the road and track, I would compromise with a street fighter, whether it's a V2 or a V4S or V4, depending on my budget. That's what I would go for, because I know that I mainly ride road and I prefer nakeds. But purely track, you've got a bike, you've got, you know, crazy amounts of wedge. Yeah, it's a V4S for me. Absolutely adore it. Now I suppose one of the key factors, which is quite a sticking point for a lot of you, you have this bike, the V2, that comes in just shy of 17 grand, and then you have the V4S, which comes in just over £27,000. So that really is what you have to take into account, the massive price difference. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. But then again, it's not my 10 grand extra that I'm spending, because I don't have it to spend. I don't even have it for that, never mind that. I'm living in La La Land. But hypothetically, if I have all the money under the sun, we've got the semi-active suspension, which is great because it's doing a bit of thinking for me. We've got the Marchesini lightweight wheels, and that's another thing to factor. We've got 2 extra cylinders on this, but it weighs, I think, 4.5 kilograms less than the V2. We also have a lithium-ion battery as well, which is all contributing to the lightness of it all. So yeah, to conclude, okay, let's break this down. Kate, spending her own money, couldn't physically afford a V4S or even a V4. But if Kate could afford a V2, she would be absolutely happy with it. She'd love it. But if money was no object, for me, there is a clear winner. And I know that a lot of journalists will probably not agree with that. And maybe, just maybe, if I tried them both back to back at a smaller circuit, my answer that I'm giving you now might be a bit different. But as far as riding these 2 bikes at Silverstone with all the track, it's a real fast track, and I just personally felt more at home, more planted, more trusting, more stable. The brakes on this, Jesus. Yeah, so for me, V4S takes the crown.
Let's not get in the back in case video though.
It's okay. Hi, you alright? Yeah, no, I'm just waffling.
Yeah, what are you saying? How's it going?
I'm just saying that it's just a lovely. It's red.
Got 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Some rubber tyres.
Basically.
Goes fast, makes a nice noise.
Exactly. What more could you want?
That's the beast on that.
Joe?
Yes.
Joe, finally. Lovely to meet you.
Finally.
Because you messaged me about Snake Pass.
Yes,
a while
I did.
back.
Yeah. I'll let you crack on.
Awesome. What are you on?
I'm on a BMW, the GS.
No, you're not on the truck.
No.
Have you just ridden up to say hi?
I'll see if, do you want to have a go? I'll see if Sarah can sign you up. You'd just be laughing. No, everyone's got to start.
He's taking me round, so it can't get more pitiful than that. Yeah, come and have a wobble around with us.
But you could...
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Thank you so much for all your help, mate. You're an absolute wheels.
Sorry, I was just going to jump in and say goodbye.
Oh, give me a hug. Thank you so much for all your help.
Right.
Honestly, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
You're such a legend. You literally made my track day.
Oh,
I'm such a little suckhole, aren't I? See you later, Chris. Bye.